Howdy, folks. Welcome to episode 6. This time, we're going to put components inside of components. So, let me show you what I mean by that. Let me just open this up and let's not the word. Let's just refer back to this guy. Remember, we have one component that's basically where all of these guesses go. Well, it's time to put these in there. This is the component we're going to put in there right now, just a single guess. So, remember on the command line interface, is going to go here. This is, right now my server's running, so I'm going to hit Control C. That just ended that. And then I'm going to type in ng, and it was generate new component. But we don't have to put generate, we could just put G. Ng G new component. And I was watching my first video. It's been a week since I started this already. And I talked about there was a dash G for something. So before I hit enter, we did something that was npm dash G. And I said, this G here is for global. Well, there's going to be something else later that, anyway, this is the something else. And G, which is our Angular, which we got when we downloaded it from npm, generate new component. And we're going to call this guess, as in a singular guess, not plural. If I hit enter, invalid blueprint new. Do I not need the word new? I don't think I do. Okie doke. And now if we go back to Atom, this is Atom, my editor, I want to see on here a new thing called guess. Although if you remember, it's putting these things in here. This is not where I want it. Also, if you remember, if I look at this app.module, it just added something called the guess component. It did this camel casing thing all by itself, and I put this right here, and it said, here is where we're going to look for it. Well, it's nice that it did it for me automatically, but it's not putting it where I want it. I could have, the very first time, I could have set it up to put it that way, but it's not a big deal. I'm just going to drag and drop. And now it doesn't know where to find it, but let's make sure we're seeing it now. Guess right there. Boom. Okay, and now if this was smarter, it would say, where is the guess? And it will eventually. See there, it just turned. It knows this is not the path to find this. So we're just going to give it the right path. // components. Dang it, where'd that R come from? And the red line went away, so we're good. Let's open up the guesses. Let's start with the HTML. Guess works. Where are we going to put this guess? We're going to put this component inside of the board component. So I'm going to open up the board component, go to that HTML. And in fact, it's telling us to look inside of the guesses component. So here I am now suddenly opening up 3 components, HTML. And this one, it just says howdy. Well, we're going to change this to, you guessed it, GUESS. And that's opening and closing. Command C, Command V. Of course, this is a closing tag. So what will that look like right now? Because right now it says guessworks. So let's go over to here. Howdy. Aha. You know what? I didn't turn my server back on. These are those kind of mistakes that you track down forever, and then you realize what you did, you just punch yourself in the head. So, my predicting, what's still thinking? It has to build, stops at 92, it just does it. And this time only, I'm thinking I have to refresh. I'm going to hit F12, Command Option I. Because look I got something wrong already. Guess is not a known element, blah, 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 blah. So something did go wrong. And what it was is, remember, they're prefacing everything with app.guess. Like the board component, when we looked at it, was app.board. This is app-guess. See, there's app-answer. They stuck that app there, so app-command S. So let's look at this again. All the guess works. Okay, now we're going to have 9 guesses. 9 of them. Ooh. So one thing I could do is it's what's called an ng repeat, or in Angular 2, it's called, they changed it from ng repeat to ng4. And I could say repeat this 9 times, but what is it going to repeat based off of? Because this is the syntax. You say ng4 equals, and I'm going to say guess. Is it in or is it of? Oh, you got to say let. Let guess of guesses. Okay. What this would mean, it's not going to work right now. I mean, it will. If I have an array of my 9 guesses, this is one of them. But I don't have an array of my 9 guesses. I guess we could just go make one really quick. Where are we? Where is our CSS file? I mean, this file. Right here. And I'm going to say guesses equals an array. And you know what I'm going to have in that array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 0. That's 9 of them. So if this is guesses, and this is the TypeScript file controlling this, now that makes sense. Let's see what this just did. It didn't do what I wanted it to. Why would that be? Because, and this controls this file. This isn't, I put in the wrong file. Command X will cut it. I'm just going to get rid of that little white space. What was repeating it was the guesses. And when I say guesses, I'm talking about the component guesses. So if I go to this TypeScript file, because look at here's this TypeScript, this HTML, so it's referring to something called guesses from this TypeScript file. So Command V. All right. Guesswork, guesswork, guessworks. And guess what? It's too big. So we want, since we're going to have 9 of these, wouldn't that make each one of these 11.11111% of whatever height this is? Yes, it would. So let's just do that. Let's just go over to my guess. Let's just give it a... we're going to give the div, well, we better make a div, that's what I'm missing. Div. And we're going to give this class, it's, I already forgot what my naming conventions were. I'm going to just peek at this, dot guesses, and I'm going to peek at this wrapper, box me, guesses. Okay, I'm going to do that. Command C. And I'm going to go over to here. Command V. And I'm also going to put flexor. Remember that again makes it a flex box. I'm going to put this in there for now. Command X, Command V. I'm going to take out the P tags actually because they have some padding on it that would mess me up. Command S. Box me, flexor, and I'm going to, that said guesses, this is guess. Command C, go over here. Dot, Command V, but say guess. What am I doing with this guess? I'm saying the height is 11.11111%. And since it has a border on it, it's 11% plus the border I put on it. So that messes it up, but the little trick is box sizing border box, and it makes that border part of that 11.1111%. Command S. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far, so good. Now let's go back to our HTML. What is it going to have in there? Well, it's going to have 4 guesses. It's going to have 4 divs. And it's going to also have, actually, we'll just peek at this. It's going to have these 4, but it's going to have these 4 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into 2 different divs. So div, and it's going to be a flexor, because and this is going to be a flexor, and these are going to be called the grade pegs. The grade pegs. Hope I didn't use this term yet. And these are going to be called the guess pegs. Guess pegs. That thing was auto guess peg container. And this is the grade peg container. And these are flexors themselves, but they're inside of a flexor. So these right now, if I take out this flexor, these will display one on top of the other. I'm going to put the box me there so you'll see how they display. Command C, Command V. So they're both boxed, so inside of these we're going to see, if we look at the right one, what am I looking at? Okay, I see these lines. I didn't want to, now I look like a liar. Guess peg container and grade peg container. Command C, Command V. We're going to end up putting CSS on both of these anyway. And this is called grade. Grade peg container. Not mean to press that. Background color green, and this is very temporary. Background color pink, and height, whoa, 50%, and we'll put the same thing over here. Command C, Command V, Command S. Okay, so it goes green and pink. They're stacking up, you know. So in this big thing, it split that thing. I'm going to go back into my HTML, and when I call the parent, I just do Command Z. I don't want to do Command Y. I'm just going to put flexor. Flexer. Well, I didn't give them any width. So go to over to here, and I think I want to make this guy, the peg one, about 75%. And I want to make this guy 25%. Now, this adds up to exactly 100. So if they add any padding or anything into there, that'll put it over 100 and it'll still stack. But it didn't. And the reason it didn't, because, for example, I did not put the box sizing border box on that. All right, never mind whatever example I was going to say. But the height is still 50%. So I want to make the height 100%, 100%, save that, and now we want to get rid of these nasty background colors. We'll probably get rid of the box me's around it, but I just like to see them for now so I know what I'm working with. So let's go back to the HTML tab. Div class I have to give these guys a class, and I want to give them an ID as well. The thing is I want to do an ng4 in here. So I have to put like peg of pegs. Let peg of pegs. Class, well, one of them I know is going to be circle. I think we might as well put a box me in there as well. Box me, and let peg of pegs in my circle class and have a height built into it. But this pegs doesn't mean anything yet. Command C, until I go make it mean something in this one. Not let, just pegs equals, what does it equal? It's an array. And that array has a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3. Okay. And see, they're all squished next to each other. They're there, but they're all squished up. That's because, as nice as my circle class was, I need to give these guys some width. The individual guys some width. What did I just call them? Did I give them a class? No, I did not. Let's give it. Let's call this a peg. I don't want a guess peg. This is a guess peg. Command C. And so we're not doing anything with this yet. I'm going to come over here. And what do we know about a guess peg? Well, when I saw them all squished together, I'll show you. Looks like the heights are there, but the widths aren't. So let's give it some width of, let's say 25%, because 4 times 25 is 100. But let's see what that does. That's going to work. That's going to work. And now, well, let's add these in. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's add those in. We're going to call those dot grade dash peg. We're going to give these a width of 50%. And if you're thinking that doesn't work, you're kind of right. Because I do want these to wrap. It'll fit. It's going to actually, I might have to do a setting. There's I'm going to have to Google it. But it's like a flex wrap. So I want these to wrap, and they will when it's going to have a little issue to deal with when it can't fit 4 at 50%. Why did I do that? Let's go to here. We can use that same array. We're going to go Command C, Tab, Command V. And these are guess pegs. These are grade pegs. And I think that should do it. Here they go. But so they're smaller, but they don't wrap. And the reason they don't wrap is because what I just said, that I got to find that setting, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I think it's flex wrap. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to Google? And the grade peg. Flex wrap. Wrap. Command S. Rethink. Did I have to do that to the parent? Probably. Command X. The parent is this grade peg container. Grade peg container. Yeah, so we tell the parent what to do when you have a situation when you want to wrap. I feel good about this. Okay. So they wrapped, but there's something going on, and you can see that something didn't work. There's a couple ways to fix this. Box sizing border box will help, but honestly, I could probably just make these smaller circles. Okay, and you want some padding there? Oh, I so do. Let's say, so the grade pegs, they have let's try this. Margin 0, that's top and bottom, but auto left and right. Let's see what that does. Okay, that spaced them out pretty well. Boom, we're done with that. Okay, problem is that we're looking at is I'm gonna click this. Well, if I click this, I want it remembered what color it was. So when I click this, which I don't have a click event on it, it takes this color. So I need to do a few things. I need to, remember, this is one component. I'm clicking here, and it knows I'm saying green, but when I get to this component, how does it know I'm saying green? And that service I keep talking about. I'm just waiting until the very last minute when we need it. So let's look at our guess. Let's talk about what we're going to do. Let's look on the HTML. These things, each one of these are clickable. They're going to have a click event. So I'm just going to type it in here. Click equals doot doot. And it's going to be, let's say the function is called color me. All right. And yeah, there's a few things here. Now, when I click this, it has to know which div did it. There's a few things we're going to have to think hard about. But that's probably not going to happen in this video. Oh, nothing's going to happen now because, in fact, an error happened because it doesn't know what color me means. It says, I'm trying to run this color me, and that doesn't mean anything. To make it mean something, we're going to go in here, and we're going to do a function color me. Color me. Notice the word function is not here, because that's the new cool way to do it. And let's log tab. I don't know what color to give you. It's depressing. Okay. Click you. I want to turn you red. I don't know what color to give me. It's red. Don't you know it's red? I have a yellow here. Don't you know it's yellow? Here's some other problems that might as well talk about. The first guess, I shouldn't be able to pick up a green and put it anywhere but this row. But yet, like, watch this 7 turn to an 8 when I click, say, right here. It's letting me click. I just gave the same click event to every single dang one of these. So it's going to need to know only click it on this row. It's going to need to know, here's something else I need to know. Let's say I click it red and I get it to give it red somehow. And then I say, nah, I don't know what I want. If I click it again, it should go back to whatever color it is now. Okay. So there's a lot to think about, but where we got to start is how does it know that this is red? So I'm going to probably just, at the beginning of the next video, say what I'm saying right now. Where was that? The peg tray component. If I look at the peg tray, I have something called set color, this selected color. The selected color. And I said, when I click something on this, it turns this into whatever color it is, this thing called this.selected color. But this variable only exists within the peg tray component. So when I go into my guess component, my guess in here, and I say, take that color, it says what color? I can't see it. So that tells me what I got to do next time. We have to do this legendary service thing I've been talking about. So, all right, I'm going to end this here, and we'll start with the next, in episode 7, we'll create that service.